guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Kyuujin Cosplay, and today we are back again guys with Fate Zero episode 11.
Yes.
They don't have a mark. Shit.
Yes.
Okay.
We're almost through with the first part of the series. The series, right?
Yeah.
The series. The Zero
first season.
series.
The first season, yeah.
Yeah. Last episode we saw a bit more of Rin Tosaka, right? And she's the daughter of Tokyomi. She's been training hard. She's really good at school. She's basically a genius in every field, but she's really young still. So she's still learning, and her father's teaching her the right way, which sucks for her her sister. Because her sister's being tortured by insects.
We don't talk about the sister.
No,
okay.
for them, she doesn't exist anymore. It sucks. But yeah, she has a sort of hero complex, or at least she really wants to help out people in need. And last episode, one of her friends was taken by Caster and his master, Ryunosuke. And she wanted to save him. And she went out alone, met with Ryunosuke, who was taking children, and in a show of strength, managed to not only save everyone and escape, but destroy also the bracelet that he was using to hypnotize children. So that was cool. Then Caster went after her, and she was saved by her uncle, who always keeps an eye out for her.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was cute, and he's still not doing good, but he promised to save her sister Sakura and get them to be together again.
And let's be honest, we do not have much hope about that.
No, not much. So the episode ended with Assassin following, the uncle. And we'll see where that leads everyone. But I guess now we're going back to the other masters and their servants. And we see what happens. I am so excited for Caster to die. I hope he dies this finale.
Thank you, please. Maybe for the finale of this.
Because we lost no one so far, and I mean that would mean the next season, and we're gonna have a bunch of deaths. So yeah,
okay.
Let's jump in this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you want to know when these episodes come out, and check out our Patreon for the full reactions.
All right, let's watch it, guys.
Who's that?
Someone's coming.
Hey! I mean, of all the fighters.
Maybe they want to team up against Caster.
Maybe. That's gotta be Ryder. It took one meeting to understand the character. But maybe he wants to team up, or maybe he wants to attack. I get that characters I care about, and characters I like, will fight eventually. I understand that. I think it's still okay, you know?
But with what they saw in Caster's lair, they need to
team up
and take him down as fast as possible. So maybe he's gonna have them to fight with
and
them.
considering that Saber has an advantage facing Caster too, you know, magic works less on her and stuff. She has a resistance. Maybe. I'm surprised. I would be surprised though if Ryder asked for help. But we'll see. Oh, he's just riding straight up in the place. You could have knocked. He's not dressed. I hear it has to go out to lunch. Party! Let's get drunk. They don't understand. They're like, what the fuck? We're meant to be enemies.
Let's chill.
He's the most chill servant ever. So he wants to talk his way to the GRAIL.
If you can.
Who's the greatest, basically? But then they're all kings with their pride and ego. I mean, that's another type of fight, I guess.
One can hold the liquor.
Yeah, something like that. Ah, you want to try too? I mean, if you're gonna discuss who's the greatest king of all, I'm gonna show up. I actually like that. Is he sitting down? That's the question.
よもやこんな鬱陶しい場所を王の宴に選ぶとは
The banquet of
俺にわ
kings.
ざわざ足を運ばせた比例をどう浴びるおい駆けつけいっぱい
I actually like this. Come on, loosen up. You like to drink. Is it good?
なんだこの安酒はこの土地の市場で仕入れたうちじゃこいつはなかなかの一品だぞそう思うのはお前が本当の酒というものを知らぬからだ
Oh my god. I don't think you can win a discussion with him. But he's gonna bring in his own alcohol. Whoa, oh boy.
これが王の酒というものだこれは頂上
I mean, the way of fighting, I guess. That's the best way to connect to Gilgamesh, I think. Drinks?
ああちゃうがあいにく聖杯と手記とは違うまず貴様がどれほどの体毛を聖杯に託すのかそれを聞かせてもらわねば始まる
Maybe he came because he was interested in learning their reasons for the grail. He said so.
そもそもにおいてあれは俺の所有物だ世界の宝物は一つ残らずその起源を我が蔵に遡る
I was the first here, so it all belongs to me.
盗っと武田家しいにも程があるぞ
お前の弦はキャスターの読まい事と全く変わらない
I mean, actually, I wouldn't say that he's gone mad. He's just overconfident and prideful.
そうなるとあとは剣を交えるのみともかくこの酒は飲み切ってしまわんか
Yeah, sure. Let's get drunk first. I actually enjoy this so much that they get to sit down together and have a drink and understand they'll have to face one another after.
聖杯の正しい所有権が他人にあるものと認めた上でなおかつそれを力で奪うのかそうまでして聖杯に何を求める
受肉だは
はあお前 望みは世界征服だって言って
Dude!
征服は己自身に託す夢聖杯に託すのはあくまでも
His life,
その
basically.
ための第一歩だよもやそのような匙のためにこの俺に挑むのか
Dude, it's not small. I mean, for some of them, I was wondering if that was gonna be the goal.
転生したこの世界に一個の命として根を下ろしたい
It'll be interesting, but
ただ一つの
is he gonna have his power if he's a human then? He doesn't need a power, he's a conqueror.
Yeah, but
He's gonna become a great
we're living in
politician.
the modern era.
He's gonna become a politician. But then he's the one that enjoys this world so much too.
Yeah.
そんなものは王のあり方ではない
貴様の懐の内聞かせてもらおうか
私は我が故郷の救済を願う売り天の滅びの運命を変える
So we're finally talking about this. They were sort of talking about a potential big thing that was gonna happen, but we don't know what it is yet.
ライダーがマスターともども無防備に酒盛りに興じている今はまたとない襲撃の好機たとえアサシンが敗退してもヒガの戦力差を測ることができれば目的は達成される
Yeah, but he's drinking with Saber, Archer, and the Masters are beside. Well, at least one, and Irishville is there.
キレレイジをもってアサシンへ命じよ犠牲をいとわず勝利せよとな
Oh boy.
Ouch.
Get ready, buddy. He's gonna be drunk throughout the whole thing.
貴様今運命を変えると言ったがそれは過去の歴史を覆すということか
そうだ
I thought she meant like what Britain became, basically. She wants to correct stuff that she couldn't achieve when she was alive.
あの結末を変えたいのだ
So that's gonna change so much.
私の席であるがゆえに
おいおい聞いたかライダーこの騎士王と名乗る小娘はよりにもよって
現れる筋合いがどこにある
Gamesh, shut up. Please,
王
shut
たる
up.
ものならば身を挺して治める国の繁栄を願うはず
いや違う国が民草がその神明を王に捧げるのだ
They come from different eras and different mentalities.
自らの知性をその結末を悔やむ王がいるとしたら それはただの暗訓だ。
They're not wrong, either of them. They have a point, but they come from two different mentalities.
理想に熟
Her kingship is shrouded in duty, whereas his is achievements. It's not the same.
Yeah.
たかだ
無欲な王など飾り物にも劣るわい。セイバーよ、理想に準じると貴様は言ったな。なるほど、往年の貴様は清廉にして潔白な聖者であったことだろう。だがな、殉教などという茨の道に一体誰が憧れる。焦がれるほどの夢を見る。
It is true that
He's
no
missing
one
her,
is worshipping martyrs in life, right?
but they are remembered and revered.
確かに貴様が掲げた正義と理想はひとたび国を救い市民を救済したやもしれん。
They're messing everything up in her head.
ただ救われただけの連中がどういう末路をたどったか、それを知らぬ貴様ではあるまい。
It's complicated. Like
貴様は進化を救うばかりで導くことをしなかった。王の欲の形を示すこともなく、道を見失った進化を捨て置き、ただ一人で澄まし顔のまま小綺麗な理想とやらを思い焦がれていただけよ。
I mean, don't fuck up with her, you know. Fuck her
王
up.
のためではなく人のための王という偶像に縛られていただけの小娘に過ぎ。
I disagree a little bit.
He has a point.
母ちゃん
Oh fuck! Fuck! Protect your master, please.
They're all here, so we gotta fight.
共に語ろうという者はここに来て杯を取れ。この酒は貴様らの血
And
と
it's a
共にある。
command spell, so they
They cannot go against it. His shirt. Uh-oh.
and they're
He's
laughing at
gonna
him.
be
この
pissed.
酒は貴様らの血と言ったはず。あえてぶちまけたいというならば、是非もない。
We'll see who's gonna be laughing later. Don't be fooled by my attire. I am a fucking
こ
king.
れが宴の最後の問いだ。その王とはここをなるや否や。
王ならばここであるしかない。
ダメだな。全くもって分かっておらん。
Interesting.
We'll get to see this today. That's his trump card. Oh boy! Oh boy! Whoa! Does he get to have in his army? Like, yeah, that's his fucking. I mean, that would make sense considering what he said
この世界
before.
の景観を形にできるのは、これが我ら全員の心象であるからさ。
It's fucking cool.
いいよ我が無双の軍勢よ。彼らとの絆こそ我が司法、我が王道。イスカンダルたる世が誇る最強宝具。歩みを経たえろいなり。
That's really a mouthful, but it's a freaking cool phantasm.
Yes.
Oh boy.
一気はサーバントだ。
He got an army of servants. That's freaking cool.
すべての勇者の戦望を束ね、その道しるべとして立つ者こそが王。ゆえに王とは孤高にあらず、その意志はすべての臣民の志の総賛たるがゆえに。さて、では始めるか、アサシンよ。
I'm really, really fucking hyped. I mean, we'll see what Assassin does, but
Oh no, they can't hide. They are working in the shadows, so they cannot hide. She just gave up.
yeah, she went like,
Oh, fuck off.
I really, really like this. Not the murder, but how epic this is. Assassin is gonna fucking die. But they achieved what they were here for.
They learn about his Noble Phantasm.
But everyone saw it. Gilgamesh didn't move. He's like, what the fuck is that? Show off.
お互い言いたいことも言い尽くしたよな。今宵はこの辺で大開きとしようか。
待てライダー、私はまだ。
貴様はもう黙っとけ。今宵は王が語らう宴であった。だがセイバー、世はもう貴様の王とは認めぬ。なあ、小娘よ。いい加減にその痛ましき夢から覚めろ。さもなくは貴様はいずれ英雄としての最低限の誇りさえも失う羽目だ。
He wrecked
貴様
her.
が語る王という夢はいわばそういう類の呪いだ。
なんだと。
Time to question yourself a little bit, perhaps.
思い出したのです。アーサー王は人の気持ちがわからないと言い残して、かつてキャメロットを去った騎士がいたことを。もしかしたらあれは円卓に集まった騎士たちの誰もが抱いていた言葉なのかもしれ
It
ません。
reminds me of what we talked about with Alfred in Last Kingdom. And it's time to bring that conversation back. Okay.
Okay. First of all, I'm not even gonna talk about Gilgamesh's point of view. He doesn't have one. Saber then. Okay, Saber. I understand what you said about the fact that a king should do anything in his power to save and protect his country, his kingdom, his people. That's a noble fact. Okay, I
The
agree.
main difference is that she comes from an era where religion was very predominant. It was the main motivation. You were not, and it's the main mentality too. Basically, you're not doing things for yourself, you're doing them for others, or at least you're claiming to be doing them for others, but at the end of the day, you are still human, so to completely refuse to see this as a fact and look at yourself as a servant who's willing to die for their country, it's very noble. It's a knight thing, you know, it's chivalrous. It's something that happened way later in history compared to Alexander, Gilgamesh, who were way early and were we're proud of their humanity. We're, as weird as that sounds, considering, you know, we know Gilgamesh, but their humanity and their flaws as humans are what they basically pushed forward. They completely understood that they had greed, they had ambition. That's what made them who they were. Basically,
It's what about the fact that prosperity for the
it's
kingdom.
achievements
Yeah.
versus duty. Very different. And it reminds me a little bit of what we talked about, like I said, in Last Kingdom, when Alfred was saying, you know, his motivations were all about religion. He was doing things for God. He was, you know, fighting for God. And he thought, considering his backstory, where he grew up, what he was taught, in his mind, everyone was thinking the same. It was like, if I'm that convinced that we're fighting for God, everyone must be that convinced that we're fighting for God. But the people that follow you, the commoners, they have families, they have struggles, they don't get paid enough, you know, they have to take care of their very human needs.
They have needs and greeds too.
Yeah, they don't have necessarily the you know, they're not rich enough to have that, what's the word, the liberty to enjoy, you know, being a servant of God or anything. So when Alfred in Last Kingdom was saying, you know, I don't seem to connect, you know, they're not inspired by my words and stuff. I'm like, well, that's because you don't understand their way of life.
And we did saw the difference when
He did a speech.
he made his first speech about fighting for God, and when he switched that up to fighting for yourself and gonna have riches at the end of it.
Yeah, to recognize that the people following you are human and that you are human too. That's the connection between you and your followers. If Arturia, Saber, if Saber was doing her duty, you know, and saw herself as the one that had to go through this in order to save the others, it's like she didn't trust them to fight for themselves. So instead of inspiring them, like that's what Ryder was saying, instead of inspiring them to be like her, she hoped to save them the struggle and leave them to what they were doing and basically do everything herself, which is noble, but it doesn't leave behind people that are inspired to follow in your footsteps. It leaves people that don't know how to defend themselves, and that could explain why everything went to shit.
And then the eyes of everyone, you look like a martyr because you're alone lifting that heavy burden on your shoulder.
You are left a presence that people admire. They look up to it, saying like, "Oh, you were a saint, but we can't even pretend to be like you. There's no way we're like you because you're like." Not saying that Archer was not a great person and a great fighter and a great leader or anything. Like, she was probably amazing, but people look at her and they're like, that person is a being amongst, you know, others that we can't even reach. Whereas Ryder's ability was to inspire people to think, you know, if I follow this guy and learn from him, I might be just like that later. Because he's playing off of emotions that everyone feel, everyone can understand, and everyone can follow.
It's just like Ryder told Saber, she fight for people, she saved her people, but she never led them.
Yeah.
So that's the main difference.
Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, if her thing was religion and she didn't care about, you know, what the other people were thinking or what they wanted, she never connected with them, which is kind of what she's saying in the end. And if her thing was to avoid them, you know, not avoid them, but do everything herself to save everyone, then that means she never took time to teach them how to do what was necessary. So, but then at the same time, that's a consequence of, you know, the era she was born in. There's a reason why Lancer understands her and you know, follows her and basically looks up to her in a way. Because, you know, compared to the people that would follow Arthur back in the day, Lancer was also a knight, sort of. Like, he was a fighter. So he feels those emotions too, so he can connect with Arthur. He would look up to Arthur and want to be like that. But not everyone is like them. Not everyone is a hero. Not everyone is willing to sacrifice everything for other people. That's the mistake I think that Ryder doesn't approve of, because he's like, you're just basically saying that you stand aside from, you know, you're completely separated from your men and the people that follow you, and you don't want to mix with them. Whereas his whole thing is to connect with fighters, as we saw in his amazing Phantasm.
Yeah, that was just...
I mean, Assassin is gone. I mean, Assassin is gone for good.
Assassin just gave up, come on.
I mean, his job was to make... I mean, he was technically supposed to do everything
victory,
to win.
Under all means. So do whatever it takes to achieve victory.
Is that because he realized that there's absolutely nothing he can do for victory?
Nothing. His main skill is to fight in the shadows.
Yeah.
He's fighting in a plane under the sun. No shadows, nothing to hide behind. So yeah, gave up. You cannot go anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not the first time we think Assassin has died, but I think twice is too much already. You know, the second time needs to be the one.
No, he's done.
So I think he's done. But then again, like I said, that was not... I mean, basically, Tokyomi was saying it doesn't matter if he dies, if Assassin dies, we need to know what, you know, the trump card of Ryder is, and now they know. At least if they manage to get the answer. Gilgamesh saw it, so we can bring it back.
He's gonna say what it is then?
Well, why not? It's his master. Like, if he doesn't want to, they can always use a command spell. But, yeah, aside from the whole fighting and bashing, you know, Saber, because I said it, you know, before, but their mentalities are just very different. That's all there is. The fighting, basically back in the day of Ryder and Gilgamesh, fighting like Saber did, or, you know, being the sort of king that Saber was, would not have worked.
Yeah.
You know, or it would have been completely different.
But
whereas them fighting today, they would have been barbarians.
yeah. But if I'm being honest, I tend to agree with Ryder about the fact that Saber's goal to rewrite history and save our kingdom is bullshit. Because it is true that it's like if you're spitting in the face of your fellow knights, the people that died for you, that died for your dream, for your goal. So
well, like I said, it's different mentality. For example, in Vikings, you got Vikings who are like, we're proud to die for our goals. Kind of like Ryder would be, and Gilgamesh would be saying, like, if we're fighting, we're proud of what we achieved in our life. We need to live with no regrets. Whereas Saber, if she constantly, basically it's the life of a Christian if you think about it. It's constantly thinking that we are sinners, we're I say we, like we all actively follow Christianism, but yeah.
Us humans,
yeah. And saying basically that, you know, they're constantly in search of redemption and pardon and stuff like that. So she lives with regrets. That's her whole thing. She's not supposed to be an example because she's supposed to be a servant of God. So her whole mentality is completely different. And so I get why she wants to do that. My own personal, like, compared, you know, when linked to her goal is that changing history means changing the present. And what she wants to do would change so much that I'm suddenly, you know, I thought the thing was about the future. I thought something was going to happen. You know, she was talking about saving Britain. I was like, well, Britain still exists, sort of.
But now that makes sense. That makes sense that she wants to change what happened in the past to, you know, save the present, if you think about it.
But I think it's because, like, I don't think Kiritsugu and Irisville and their family want to save the past or anything. So there's still something that's supposed to happen. Like, they want to prevent something from happening. It could just be that leaving the Grail in the hands of someone who would use it for something terrible. Like, I know that Tokimi wants to reach the root, so who knows what he does with that. But in any case, I thought it was about the future when in fact it's about the past. And if it's about the past, it changes way too much for this to be okay. So unfortunately, I'm like, well, at the same time, I'm not saying that that's going to be, if they win, the ultimate wish, because after Ryder's talk and how she, you know, started questioning herself, maybe she's going to completely change her goal.
Oh, Kikeme is going to be so disappointed.
Well, he's also trying to strip her of that idea that she's a servant of God, so I don't know. Oh, Gilgamesh, you said. Sorry, for a second I thought you meant Castor.
No.
Gilgamesh just enjoys to see...
Gilgamesh loves seeing her being
troubled.
Yeah.
He's enjoying someone else's pain because he's just carefree. Like, he's so convinced that everything he says, does, and wants and stuff, everything is right about him.
Well, he's a king. Everything he says is law.
She's the complete opposite to him, basically. But I did enjoy the whole talking, you know, together, because I did say before, you know, they are fighters in this war, but they are also heroes. They were conquerors. They were kings, and they can connect through that, through, you know, we all did something. We all were in charge, and there's this understanding of, I was in that position just like you, so I can understand. There's not many people in history, yes they are, but compared to how many people have lived on this earth, not many people can understand what it means to be in charge like this, and they do, so they can connect through that. And to see them all sitting together and just drinking wine, I really thought it was cool. I love that Ryder was the one to be like, because I expected him to just go out and fight everyone, but he's like, oh, I mean, we could have a fight of words, you know, discuss, but then no one is gonna literally say, I'm not worthy. Like, he thought he could avoid fighting those heroes, but no, not one of them, especially if Gilgamesh is in the group, is gonna say, well, I don't want the Grail. I'm not, you know, there's a better king out there.
First, in the first place, he wanted to fight with them to conquer the world. He wanted to fight with them.
He wanted them to join.
He wanted them to join in his quest to conquer the world.
I love his goal.
Now he asked for a fight of words, and let's be honest, of course that wouldn't work out, because Gilgamesh, like I said, his words are law. If he said that the Grail belongs to him, the Grail belongs to him.
You can't win any conversation in a debate with Gilgamesh.
You can't win with someone who doesn't want to say that he's wrong.
Admit that he's wrong, yeah. But when it comes to goals, Gilgamesh doesn't have one. He's looking for one, you know, I think that's why he came here, because he wanted to learn more about other people's reasons for wanting to Grail. So I think he's open to the idea of, you know, if someone has a goal that I can get behind, we'll see. But he's not willing to admit that he would be, you know, open to that. But we'll see. When it comes to Ryder, his goal of basically being mortal again, you know, being back to life, very sad if you think about it, but I don't see it happening either. I was wondering earlier in the show if anyone was going to wish, like for Lancer especially, I was thinking maybe that's what the wife wants to wish, to bring back Lancer as a human being that she can be with.
Oh,
But that's fucked up considering the curse and what she's willing to do for that.
yeah.
But with Ryder, I'm like, if you are back, I mean, he is the one that connected the most with the world. You know, he wants to savor the food. He wants to see
drink.
places. He wants to drink the wine. He wants to eat the food. You know, he wants to wear the clothes. Basically, he's enjoying his time here so much that I understand why he wants to be here. If his goal is to conquer, unfortunately, that's not going to be good for the future. Because if he becomes human with his mentality of back then, the best path would be to, yes, eventually become a politician. But as we saw in his conversation with Saber, his mentality clashes with the mentality of today. It doesn't matter which mentality is the right one. His mentality completely clashes with that of modern times. Even Saber's clashes with today, but he's not gonna fit. If he starts saying like, "Oh, I want to conquer other countries and stuff," people are gonna call him a dictator. It's gonna be World War III,
4, 5.
Yeah.
Name it.
So unfortunately, in the time of today, not that it was okay back then, but it was widely accepted that that's what people used to do. Whereas today, if you start doing shit like this, unfortunately, you're not gonna go far.
No, mentality changed.
Yes. So, as much as I really like the fact that his goal is that human, I don't see it happening. So we'll see how it ends. I mean, we only need one at the end, right? Where there's only one that wins. So I know they're gonna start dying eventually.
Well, at least one died just right there.
Yeah, but we didn't care about Assassin. When Ryder starts to die, when Saber might die, Lancer is gonna probably die for sure. Castro, I'm gonna rejoice.
Are you saying that Gilgamesh is gonna win that fight?
No, he could. I don't think Gilgamesh wins. I think Saber could win. We could be surprised. Like Berserker could win.
True.
The noblest goal, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
We will see. We will see. Anyway,
Okay. So we're down to 6 servants and this Holy Grail war.
And 2 episodes to go for this first season. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next one right away, it is on Patreon already. You can check it out. The link is in the description below.
And the next one shall be on YouTube next week, guys. So see you then.
Bye.
Bye, guys.